Well, congratulations again. I don't know. How do you keep hitting them out of the park?
Well, they don't always go out of the park, but when they do, it makes me feel pretty great.
Yeah, you must feel extremely great about this production. Wow. First of all, I want to ask you about your knowledge of Sherlock Holmes. Were you ever into it, or how much did you
Well,
know
I
about
mean,
it?
the movies. I mean, I probably read the stories in school, but I knew the Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce pictures, and I'd seen them, most of them in my youth. And I'm just very conscious of what Sherlock Holmes was. I mean, I wasn't as clear as what it was intended to be in the original inception from Arthur Conan Doyle. I mean, I knew it as this kind of intellectual, fuddy-duddy kind of detective stories that were kind of somber and not as high energy as I would have realized that the original material was. And, and Lionel Wigram, who was had the idea to reinvent Sherlock Holmes, always felt that there was something really unique and special there. And when he had for a long time tried to get the studio to let him develop the movie, and they of course saw the same way as I did, and he had made a comic book that he showed them, and that they understood. I mean, the front cover was a very kind of sweaty Sherlock Holmes with a kind of a short stick in his hand, and really kind of action-based guy.
Yeah.
And they got it. They said, okay, we see it. That told them what it was, and then they went and let him develop a script.
And then, you get Guy Ritchie, I mean, who, you of course worked with on Rock and Roll, and you just know this guy, not only is he British, he's got the sensibility, but wow, like he just, he really stepped it up for this film. What is it about that guy that he made the perfect director?
Well, he really, I mean, he has a great sense of style and a great artistic, quality to what he does. But it was the combination of all these players. This, Robert Downey Jr. was just so brilliant at anything he does, and Jude, and I mean, everybody worked together. Rachel, Mark Strong, the whole group really, kind of stepped it up, and were able to give the tools to Guy to really make an incredible movie.
Yeah, I mean, and for you as a producer, you have to feel confident. I mean, you're getting this money for somebody, Guy Ritchie. This is literally his biggest money project that he's, so
course, yeah.
You have to feel comfortable with who you've hired.
Well, we had a good time in Rock and Roll. We really were very pleased with the experience on that picture, and I thought that I really enjoyed working with him, and I thought here's a chance to do something really great, and I think he did.
Yeah, and then like Robert Downey Jr., who I was telling Guy, like he could make a movie called I'm Robert Downey and I'm reading the phone book. I'd go see it. No, seriously. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. But he's not British, but he just, you think he is by watching the film. What is it about this man when you watch him work?
He can do anything. He can do anything. I mean, he can do anything. He can sing, he can dance, he can do straight drama, comedy, he can play an African American, he can do anything, And I think that, he proved, his prowess at English accent when he made Chaplin, when he actually got nominated for the Academy Award for that performance. So, we were all concerned, at the early part, how will it feel about having an American play Sherlock Holmes? But Downey just totally inhabits the character, and I mean, you just forget about everything else. He is Sherlock Holmes.
Right, and then there's wonderful chemistry between him and Jude Law. Wow, I don't think I've seen two guys, banter like that in a long time, and beautiful chemistry. What did Jude bring to the project?
I mean, he was the surprise in that. I mean, not to us, but I mean, when you watch the movie and you see how funny he is and how confident he is and how great he is, he performs as Dr. John Watson. I mean, he really is. We struggled with who should play that role, and when Jude came along, Robert and Jude met here at the hotel in Claridge's one day in the bar, and they had a little conversation, and they said, Robert said, this is the guy, this is the one, and he was. I mean, it was a perfect pairing. It really was. We couldn't believe how great it worked out.
Why do you think the stories of Sherlock Holmes have endured for so many years? Why do we just love knowing and reading about him and watching movies about him?
I mean, he was the first, kind of detective. I mean, I made a lot of detective movies. I mean, Lethal Weapon movies are detective movies. I mean, I think that, Die Hard is a detective movie. I mean, these characters are in the middle of action elements, and this kind of veers into the James Bond world too, where he's it's more than just he gets involved in a kind of a huge scheme that he has to foil, and I think that it just his character is interesting because he is so smart and so articulate, and because he's ahead of everybody else, and we refer to this in the movie as packing and unpacking. Throughout the course of the movie, we set things up, and at the end of the movie, Sherlock unpacks it. He explains to us what it all was, and I think that's it's a really exciting, really fun thing to watch him do as he tells you what happened and what occurred. It's a really delicious kind of experience to see that. And I think that that's something Sherlock always did. I mean, he would always explain to you what you saw and tell you what it really meant. And I think that we do that.
Do you think that they're kind of superheroes in a sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that Sherlock is a superhero, but his brain is his superpower. I mean, he's just so smart, and he just knows everything, and he sees everything. And look, I mean, I think that all these things in this movie came together. This movie is what Hollywood should be doing. In that, I'm not minimizing other movies, but it's a celebration of the craft. I mean, it's a big movie star movie with big sweeping sets and costumes, and it's just something that only can exist in this world of high energy, high end movie making. And I think that it brings all of it together. It brings all the forces of creativity, the music, the image, the vision, the color, everything together. And I think that it works on such an incredible level. And I think that our job is to make movies like this, is to make movies that celebrate what we do. I mean, it's okay to do little kind of two-handers and little things that I mean that's emotionally compelling. But this is a big Hollywood movie, and I'm proud that we pulled it off.
Well, we're proud that you did it. It's so great, and I look forward to more because I think you'll be doing more.
I hope so.
Good luck to you. Thank you so much.